Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I want to talk about Dungeons & Dragons and Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, the brand new film. Warning, spoiler warning for Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Okay, alright, so I wanted to talk about, this movie is so phenomenally good, and we are so blessed to have this opportunity to catapult Dungeons & Dragons forward with an incredible film that is going to mean a lot to a lot of people, okay? Now, let's talk about this. There's a lot of reviews that are coming out that are very bog standard. They're like, oh, this movie's a fun Marvel, it's like Marvel, but with fantasy, right? And the reality is, I get it, and I have sympathy for these reviews because people look at it and they stop thinking, and they don't really think about the deeper meaning in this. And the reason why is Gary Gygax, set the standard. He's like, hey, everybody, here's the game. And then he's like, it's actually a human flourishment tool, and it's used to improve people, but you can't change the world with broccoli. You got to change the world with chocolate, right? And so, in my humble opinion, Dungeons & Dragons is not really a game at all. It was always a powerful. It was the most powerful secular tool for exploring identity and the most transformative change to human narrative that's ever existed. It's not even remotely a game. It's a tool, okay? And in my humble opinion, right? And so I think when Daly and Goldstein, the John Francis Daly and Jonathan Goldstein came to this film, they decided to do exactly what Gary did, to echo his tradition of putting a golden and action. So Easter's coming up, right? And you'll see a chocolate empty egg wrapped in gold foil. Dungeons & Dragons is the opposite. It's a solid gold egg wrapped with a layer of chocolate. And people are like, oh, a chocolate egg, right? You're like, nah, it's not really what it is, right? And that's my point, is there is a subterranean river of stap, okay? Science, theology, politics, and philosophy. And if you don't know, I've figured this out. So what Dungeons & Dragons is actually doing is it's creating a space where we as humans can rethink science, theology, politics, and philosophy. Literally all the core knowledge areas of life. It's an opportunity for us to completely ask every question again and move into a new space of higher being. Like that is what Dungeons & Dragons is calling each one of us to. It is, and increasingly the world is being divided into those who have Dungeons & Dragons and those who don't, right? Like those who live 100 lives and those who are jam locked into one identity. And what and pity every person who lives a Dungeons & Dragons life, right? Because they're locked in one being, right? They're not free like us, right? America's struggled with freedom, right? 1865, there was freedom for a whole new group of people. In 1974, Gary Gygax came and freed every American from the prison of a single identity, right? And said, if you're a player, you get 100. You get 100 lives. If you're a dungeon master, you get 1,000. Right? I free you from this horrible, single locked identity existence. Right? And so here we arrive. Let's talk about Edgin Darvis. So Edgin Darvis, and this is a philosophical point, right? There's a point in the movie where Edgin Darvis's adventuring party, Doric, Edgin, Holga, Simon, right? They're trying to defeat Forge Fitzwilliam. They know that he has come to Neverember and is planning to do every single person in Neverember harm, right? That he's going to rob them, he's going to harm them, he's going to put them into harm's place, right? And there's this, and they're like, we're not going to let this happen. We need to stop this, right? But they keep trying to. They need to penetrate this vault in Neverember to get the funds that Forge Fitzwilliams has, so that he no longer has the resources he needs to control Neverember, right? And they want to be able to free the people of Neverwinter, excuse me. Lord Neverember is the leader of Neverwinter. So they want to free the people of Neverwinter from Forge Fitzwilliams's tyranny, right? And so they get to this point, and we reach this point. Simon Armour cannot attune to the helm of disjunction. Okay, they can't find a way into the vault. They have they linked with Zenk Yendar, right? This incredible paladin, and they realize that their combat skills are deficient. Their thieving skills are deficient, right? Zenk did everything better than them, and they have failed and failed and failed and failed, right? And Edgin Darvis says this incredible line. He says, it's so brilliant. Like, if you look at this movie, you think this is like a fun Marvel romp. It's not. It has deep philosophical meaning. And the philosophy it discusses is hyper-focused on the most critical aspects and critical problems that America has right now, right? So Edgin Darvis says, when the group is like, we're done, right? And Simon Armour's like, I'm finished. I cannot attune to this thing, and we're not going to be able to get in, and we're not going to be able to move forward. And Doric is like, Doric is doing her thing. She's this incredible wild shape, this incredible druid, and she's done everything that she can to make all of this work, but she knows that Simon's got to step up, right? And Doric has a romantic history with Simon, and she knows that Simon doesn't believe in himself, right? And she's like, oh yeah, of course, you're a sad sack, useless, male, right? And I'm gonna have to do what every American female does now, which is have a kid on my own and be alone for all my life except for my loving child, right? And because the family structure is done, and you suck because you are just a regular. And Simon Armour is a stand-in for every American male now, right? I'm a strong, independent woman. I'll do it without you, right? We had one date. It sucked, and you suck because you don't know that you're not good. That you don't know that you can be good, right? And so Doric is like just writing it off and going, oh yeah, of course I'm strong, independent female in a movie, and of course I'm going to have to tell every other American female we all do it ourselves. We just go have a kid off on our own. Single motherhood. Kids aren't allowed to have two parents, the whole nine. Like, it's just like, and she's just writing them off, right? And she's like, it ain't even about the adventure for her, because she's already shown in the film to be able 100% capable, 100% independent, and she's like, well, this is what I thought. I was always on my own. I'm going to be on my own, right? And she's like, okay, I'm ready to walk off too. I don't care either, right? And Holga is like, Holga believes in Edgin Darvis, right? And she's like, well, half our team is out, so like we're not gonna be able to do this. And Edgin Darvis says this line. He says, "When we stop failing, then we have failed." Right? And when he says this, it looks like a joke, right? But it's not a joke. It's not even remotely a joke, right? It's us right now, right? Like, we're in America, we have been failing and failing and failing, right? In 2016, we elected this absolutely horrible monster human called President Donald Trump. He's the most prejudiced, most horrific human who has ever held the office, except for the dude who stand the Confederacy. I think he was worse, but he just set a new low and shattered every single good thing about the role of the presidency. And it was horrible, and it seemed like an absolute low for America. And then President Joseph Biden was like, hold my beer. I will destroy everything good left in America. I will make sure you are at the very edge of World War III. I will make it so that you don't believe your children will ever own a house, because they can't even buy eggs, right? I will make sure that America becomes a burning dumpster fire based on my cowardice. The only thing necessary to fix every problem in the world is to put American boots on the ground in Russia, absolutely punish that nation for ever threatening America, and take every single inch of their land, give half of it to Ukraine, and keep the other half for U.S., right? Courage wins the day. Every problem solved. But we don't get there. America doesn't get good things now. We just fail, and we fail, and we fail, right? And Edgin Darvis comes in, and he says, when you stop failing, then you have failed. When we stop failing, then you have failed. And Edgin Darvis, they make it super clear in this movie, he has no powers except hope. It is his superpower. He believes in himself, and when everyone else is ready to stop, he's like, we do not stop failing. We will fail again, right? And he's leaving the part unsaid that if you continue to be willing to fail, you can never be defeated. And when you are undefeatable, sometimes you catch a win. And that's you and that's me right now, right? We can't buy eggs because of this fool President Biden, right? And he doesn't give a lick for us. And he can't find the two down there. And so we're not going to be out of this until he's gone, right? And hopefully in 2024, Americans are smart enough to realize we cannot endure another 4 years of this, right? And so, but we have to get up, grind, do it. We have to believe in ourselves. And Edgin Darvis is the most powerful person in that party. He has no real skills. All he does is plan, right? And when the plan fails, he replans, right? And Holga follows him because she is an unbreakable, unrelentlessly loyal friend, right? And I recently restored a friendship that had been floundering for a long time, you know, and because we just don't get the luxury to end friendships forever. You know, it's our pride and our vexation would like that, but it's not a thing, right? And this movie is like, you cannot stop. I know you want to stop. I know you feel like you've been taken in the teeth for a long time. You can never stop. You have to keep going. And this, right, you know, and the other thing it's saying is all we need is a leader. We don't have a leader right now. And this is why Holga and Doric and Simon and Edgin win, because they have a leader who believes in himself and has actual plans. And if a plan fails, he just goes to the next plan. Joseph Biden doesn't even have any plans, right? It's all reaction, right? But if we as Americans never stop failing, then we haven't failed, right? And this film has deep philosophy and encouragement and meaning and purpose. You have got to see this film. Every single word you just heard is my humble opinion. What's important is when I get to hear your humble opinion, when you get in the comments and send your traffic. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.